come the big rig kids, y'all. Are you ready? Let's go. Here come the big rig kids, roll with the big rig kids. Let's fire the truck, take you to such amazing places with the big rig kids. Those helpful big rig kids. See how they give and grow and get to know amazing things. Learn with the big rig kids, then you'll see how it is to have adventure days and hang and play with all your friends. Because the big rig kids know what it is to live a most exciting and inviting life is positive.
Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Grandma Polly, where everything is about building up, being enlightened, and love. You know, we have a very tremendous and special guest on today. I'm going to let Grandma Polly do the honors, but I want you all to give it up for the one that we all know and love. Y'all know her. Y'all come on, give her a big round of applause. Grandma Polly.
Hello and happy Thursday. Thank you, Kenneth, for that wonderful introduction. We have a wonderful young man here this evening, and his name is Kaleb Wilcox. Kaleb is a young man out of Baker County, Florida, and Kaleb is just doing wonderful things in his school and in his community. This young man holds down a part-time job. He's a member of the band called Counterculture. He's vice president of his school history club and so much more. Please, guys, will you all help me welcome 16-year-old Kaleb? Can we get a hand, some hearts,
Hello.
some love?
Hello.
Let's just shower this young man with love. And
How y'all
Kaleb,
doing?
I want to say to you, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight.
Awesome. Hey, look, we're not going to hesitate. We're going to jump right into it. I know when I spoke with you, your accolades are so long. I'm going to give you a minute or two to just elaborate on some of the things that you do. Just give us that list of things that you're involved in. And then we'll go into the question.
Well, I go to Baker County High School, and I run cross country, track and field. I did a little wrestling last year. I stopped this year because I had to get some money in my pocket. You know, I don't want to keep asking my family for money, so I I started doing a job. So next year, my senior year, I might start back wrestling or just keep the job. Um, I also I do a lot of church. I play piano. I'm trying to get pretty good at it. So I play the piano at Calvary Baptist Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. I sing at CFT. I play the synth at CFT. Um, let's see. And we have a friend group, and we do a lot of worshiping. We go to different people homes and we sing and worship together. We pray together, and we just have a good time in the name of Jesus.
Okay. I like that. I like that. And when I hear you give up all these accolades and the things that you're involved in, oof, okay. I think you answered my first question that's going to come to me. That's coming at you. My first question I had for you was, how do you avoid the many peer pressures our youth are facing today?
Well, I just stay
That's
occupied.
coming at
Just
you
stay
was, how do
stay
you
off the
avoid
streets.
the many peer pressures our youth are facing today?
And also, just stay in the church. Just stay in the church.
Okay, okay, I like that. I like that very much because the peer pressure, I know it's hard. I see it. Um, I see it in the communities. I see it when we go out to work in the communities. Peer pressure could be something that can really destroy a young person's life at an early age.
Yes, ma'am.
And I hear you talk about keeping yourself busy, you staying occupied, and you're involved in all the other things that you do. There's another thing that comes along with this when when I think about COVID now. because there was a time when everybody was doing the homeschool thing, virtual, the new
Yes,
term
ma'am.
that they use now. Um, your virtual lessons versus going back to school. How has COVID affected your studies in the school? Has this been something you had to battle with?
Yes, ma'am. We had did virtual at our home for a while, and I got back on my studies because I really don't focus as well. You know, I have so much distraction around me. I have my cell phone, I have the television, and I couldn't really just focus like I needed to and buckle down on my studies. And just being at school, just hearing the teacher, and she can come to me one on one because the teachers does not they do not come to the computer like they did to the students in the classroom. So we didn't get as much as like the help we needed to succeed. So that's why I went back to in school.
Okay, now that you're back in school, in my mind, I don't know, it's been a long time since I could sat in a classroom. But when you fell behind and you ended up back in the classroom, what methods or what was it that you used to get yourself back on track? Was there other people out there in the schools that was able to help you?
Yes, I actually it was multiple teachers that asked told me that like you can always come to me for help. I have a list of teachers. I have especially Mr. Tyler Loki. He's my track coach. He's my youth pastor. He's my cross country coach. He's been like a father to me. He's been a friend, a mentor. He just taught me a lot in my little time of knowing him. He's taught me a lot, and like Miss Tiffany Combs, she's a math teacher at our school, and she's always told me that I can always come to her class anytime, and she would stop what she's doing and help me out. So I'm just thankful for teachers like that that can just say, if you need me, you just come. I'm always there for you.
Mm. So it sounds to me that you have a very strong village around you. And that's what these segments that we're doing right now, we're talking about the village. And your village, it sounds like you have the church, you have your teachers, you have the school. I know you live with your grandma, but the conversation you and I had last night, whew, I want to hear some more about this one because this one took me back to my early days of life when we as young people where we had respect for our elders, where we cherished our grandparents, we cherished our parents. And it was like our grandparents, we just held them up on pedestals like they were kings and queens. And when I heard you talk about Mama G, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
When you started telling me your story about Mama G, it was like it just brought back so many memories to me. And you know what? I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna let you tell me about those days and just what does the village mean to you and how important it is and what has the village done for you.
Well, if village is meaning family, family means a lot to me. I have a lot of friends, and they're like my family. You know, sometimes some people might say um, water is thicker than blood. That could be true in some cases, but you know, family is always going to be there for you without a doubt. And how you was talking about my grandmother, Mama G, as her real name was Gladys Simonet. She was my light, my world. She was everything. She used to say I was her boyfriend, and I used to take care of her. I loved her to death. I had some. She taught me everything. Taught me everything I know. You know, she gave me life lessons. She sat me down and just told me. As I told you last night, I tried to act up, and she said, you know, you're getting too old for this. She said, when I was a child, I thought as a child. But when I got older, I put away childish things. So when I got older, I had to realize, I had to start putting away these childish things because it's not cute anymore. I'm getting too old for that. So
That is powerful. That is, I mean, extremely powerful because I know you see it and you hear stories where a lot of times the younger kids now, as we hear it, oh, you're old fashioned, you're not caught up with the times. We don't want to hear what you have to say because it does not match our agenda. It does not fit in with the time that we fit it, that we're living in now. So if you was to speak to if you were speaking to a young group of people today, what would be some of the lessons that you learned from Mama G that you would say to them?
well, I know a lot of the kids in school call me old soul. Uh, so when most of the time when I'm speaking, a lot of them listen because they know I do know what I'm talking about. And a lot of the problem that's in the school is the relationship problems. And actually, we had one today where the girl was like, "He cheated on me," and I'm like, "Well, then he wasn't the right one for you." Because Mama G told me a lot because I wanted to go through all these girls to find the right one, but she said you're moving too fast. You're moving too fast. You need to slow down and just see what's right in front of you. You know, you have to see what's right in front of you first. The that guy might not be for you right now. Just step back, give him time. Or if that's not what God wants, you just have to just wait on the Lord.
Ooh, that's some grown folk knowledge right there. No wonder they call you old. Kenny, we got to give him a hand on that one. Y'all give him some love on that one. Because there are some grown folks out there who don't even realize that. That's some grown folk knowledge right there. Ooh, wait a minute. You just threw me you done thrown me off track. I forgot what my next question gonna be.
Yeah.
That's some old folks knowledge. Okay, I know you have your teachers and you had Mama G. Who are some of the other people who have been your village and has been some influences in your life?
Well, I've had Miss Donna Ruiz. She's been a good person in my life. She's one of the guys I sing with, Morgan Ruiz' mom. Uh, she's just been there for me. I stayed at her house late nights, just talking to her, and she'd just tell me, "Well, Caleb, I know your grandmother isn't here, and I know I'm not your grandmother, but," and she just give me some verses to 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 hang on to, like Mama G would. She'd just tell me, "Well, wouldn't your grandma say something like that?" I'm like, "Yes, she would." And she's like another mother to me. She's just good. She's good. She's good to me, and I'm thankful for her. And her husband, Mr. Jess Ruiz, he's also a good man of God, and I'm thankful for him. Every Before I leave every night, they pray for me, pray for safe travel. They pray for my mind, God keeping my mind and just keeping my heart, so I can stay on the right path. So I'm thankful for them. They have been an
Ooh,
awesome help.
16 years old. And in a lot of ways have the knowledge of an adult. That is amazing because we don't hear a lot of this. And I know part of it is because, and I'm getting the itchy throat, guys, so if I start sneezing, Kenny jump in. But a lot of young guys, I watch the news and I had to cut back on that. And I'm like, it's something we have to do. Because when I look at the news and I see young guys like you, even younger than you, I've seen a situation where there was a 10, 11, and 12-year-old who jacked a car. In the news, there's a 14-year-old out there that who shot a police officer. So when the media is putting all this negative stuff out there about our young black men, after a while, society starts to believe it. But I also know that that's just a small percentage that they're floating across that TV screen, because so many of our young men and ladies are doing so many great things, and they're doing positive things. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, because we want people to see that not all our children are troubled.
That's right.
When I see young people getting into trouble, I don't like the term that's being labeled as thug, bad, indifferent, or some of the other terms that we hear and use. My thing is, I'm begging the community. We have to stop waiting on other people to come in our communities and make our community right. And all that I'm hearing from you, you started with a strong foundation. And that's what has you to where you are right now.
Amen.
And I challenge everyone out there listening. I challenge everyone who's going to come back and watch this later. It's time for us as adults to step up and be a role model for these children. We have to get these mentors in here. We have to pray for our children. Caleb just gave us the formula for turning our communities around. He has teachers who care. He has a grandmama who care and prays. He has other friends and family members who cares and pray. Will we lose some of our children? Yes. But I think we can save a whole lot more of them than we are. And we have an account and a responsibility to our children also. And this right here, coming from me right now, wasn't even a part of my plan this season. But when I hear his story and I see so much of the negative stuff that's in the news, Caleb, you gave me hope.
Amen.
And I'm gonna shut up and let you tell me some more of the stuff that you're involved in.
Well, I we have for the past few months, well, not every month, but we have done around the last time of the football season, we had started a thing called overtime, and it's just like a lot of young people and different people from around, like different churches in Baker County, they come together after a football game, and we just worshiped that night. We stayed out till like 3 o'clock until the neighbors were complaining, saying that it's too loud, it's too late in the night. Y'all need to be quiet. I'm like, and I'm up there singing. I hear then the pastor come up here like, well, we gonna have to end it early. I'm like, what? Tell them to come into church. They need Jesus talking like this. But we have actually this not this Friday, but next Friday we have a thing called Ultimate Worship. The doors open at 7:30 at Harvest Ministries. We're going to be having an Ultimate Worship night. It's going to be an Ultimate Worship night. Everyone is invited, all ages. We're going to be worshiping. We having two preachers, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to have two preachers. Um, and we're just gonna have a good time until until the house of the roof of the church pop off. We're gonna worship, and other things that I am involved in is the History Club, the vice president of the History Club. Next year, I will be the president of the History Club, and we do different things. We do like during Halloween time, we do haunted jail. This year, I had the privilege of being one of the hosts, and got to lead some of the people through. This year, we're doing the old lusty battlefield. We will be sailing and just having a good time out there. And I actually I have a they always give me a small thing where I get to like early in the morning pray. You know, we start a prayer and I pray. Um, it's We do a lot of different things. Actually, next week I believe they're going to Charleston, South Carolina for a trip. I didn't. I have to work, so I can't make it, but I wish I could. Um, but it's a lot of different things that we have in our community that I'm very thankful for. We're a very like Bible based community. So
And I sit here and I see the joy in your face as you speak of these things. Now I have to ask you, because this thought came to mind while you were speaking. You are such a young guy. And when I say that in the aspect of you're not old as Kenny over there. You know, Kenny's 65, but when you, I know you're fine amongst your peers who you hang out with, but is there ever a time when you're participating in this stuff, or even when you're at school, and you have kids who want to ridicule or tease you because you decide to go in the opposite direction of trying to do what's right versus being out there getting into trouble?
well, I was very blessed not to have any bullies. I can say that. Um, everyone just knew me. I was always been like a jolly, happy kid. So I never had really many people. They just all the people they like. You would go if I go around school. They'd be like, "Oh, that's just Caleb. That's just him." You know, I'm just laughing, joking around. That's just him. You know. But if somebody else do it, they gonna pick on him. You know. But I don't stand for that neither. I tell them, hey, if you ain't gonna do it with me, why you gonna do it with them? You know. But I get by easy. So they give me the benefit of the doubt, and I never had. No, I don't think I ever had. I have one encounter. I had one encounter where the guy just told me, "Well, you don't need Jesus. Come to the park with us and smoke." But you know, I wasn't standing for that. If Mama, I said in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if Mama G was here, whoa, that wasn't gonna. She wasn't gonna like that. So I kept on in the church, and we also have a. Sorry if this going off a topic. We also have a CFC at our school where on Wednesdays we have a Bible study in the library, and my friend Alexis Smith, Morgan Ruiz, and sometimes Charlie Rowland, we all just sing before the students, and we just worship. And we actually have some of those throughout the year where we have the whole cafeteria to ourselves, and we just worship with the students, and might have a guest speaker. And I actually speak every year. Um, One time out of the Wednesday at Bible study, and give my testimony every year to the new freshmen and different new people that comes to our school.
And this is a public school.
Public school.
So now you're taking me somewhere else. So when I hear people say, "Oh, they should have never taken prayer out of school. They never should have taken God out of school." You know, my answer always is, you just proved my point. My answer always is, they may tell me I cannot pray collectively in a school building or whatever, but they can't remove it from my home. They can't remove it from my car. They can't remove it from me standing on the sidewalk. They can't remove it from me, period. And here I am listening to you saying that this is what you guys do in a public school, which I think is awesome. And I think this is something that needs to be back in the school because the schools are so troubled. Now, I want you to give me your opinion on that, on what I just said, because, quote unquote, oh, the kids can't pray in school. There's certain things that they can't do in school. But how did you guys manage to get that in Baker County?
Well, I I can say for my like class, my 20 class of 2023, I was praying on it for a long time, and I was hearing God tell me that, you need to start a prayer here. We had prayer, but it wasn't at the like it wasn't somewhere where we just all just come together, We just prayed within our friend groups. But I was like, I felt God tugging on my heart saying, like, you need to get everyone together. Let's make places throughout the school, or just make a place where we can just pray. They always did it at the middle school, and they pray around the flagpole. They have 30 to 50 students every morning come outside to pray on Wednesdays. And so I'm like, well, on Wednesdays we're gonna have a prayer at the flagpole too. 7:15. I made well, they made a remind app saying that we're gonna go pray at the flagpole every Wednesday, and then that at lunchtime, during lunchtime, we had the Bible study. So we pray in the mornings, pray for the school, pray for life and health and the air that we breathe. Thank God for everything. And then we have Bible study. So I mean, they, they were very supportive of us praying, and we actually had one incident where girls were like, "You don't need Jesus. He's not there. He's not real. How do you know he's there?" And guess what we did? We just held hands and we just prayed. We blocked her out. I just told everybody was trying to argue back. I'm like, it's not worth the argument. We're not gonna argue about it. We know who our God is. She's gonna one day realize. And then a few weeks later, she come to me, asking for prayer for her grandmother. I'm like, you see, she's gonna one day
Mm.
realize she's gonna need somebody. So that's a big one.
Ooh, you're giving me chills sitting over here. Oh my God, you really are, and I'm not being dramatic with it. I mean, I'm keeping it real. You're sitting here. I'm getting all these chills and feelings to hear this stuff coming from a man so young, such as you. Um, I'm gonna open up. That right there was powerful. That could be the end of the show, but I want to talk to you again on the other side where, because your grandma, we know Mama G has gone on, but your grandma Valerie shared something with me too that you didn't. And you're the school mascot. How did that come about?
Well, I was in sixth grade, and I knew that the mascot that was there, he was about to leave, but I didn't think I was gonna really do it because those kids are weird. That's what I was thinking in my head. Those kids are weird. I don't want to be no weird kid. But I said, hey, well, what can I get from it? I get laughed at anyways. Sixth grade, I was always getting picked on, but hey, I didn't care. I'm just gonna be myself. I don't care how you think how you look at me. It's all that how God looks at me. He's gonna be the one that had the final say on everything. So I didn't really care what they thought. So my seventh grade year, when they had the auditions, I said, hey, I'm just gonna go for it. What's the worst I can do? So I was last minute. I didn't even have a physical, so I ran. My granddaddy took me to the doctor to get a physical, and I ran back. It was the last person. They were like, anybody else? And I'm running in. It's me. It's me. Didn't have no song. I said, just put on something, and I freestyled. And and the teacher started throwing money at me. She was like, yes, yes. She was like, she said, don't tell nobody, but you got the part. And I was like, okay. And then they announced it in school, and my little sister just had came. She was in sixth grade, and she was like, they told me that she was jumping up and down in her chair, saying, "That's my brother. That's my brother." So I was very happy that I got that role. So and it's just been me ever since. So it's been seventh grade, eighth grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade. 4 years at it now.
Wow. Caleb, I gotta pause for a minute. Kenny,
Yes.
do you want to open up those phone lines?
Yes, I had it down there. Just
Yes.
letting take a minute just to thank everybody for all the wonderful comments that they brought in. And if you want to ask Caleb a personal question yourself, come on, call in 478-202-4271. I'm sure he wouldn't mind answering. Is that right, Caleb?
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Man, I'm just sitting here and you just don't know what it does to me when I see our young black males, doing so many positive things. And I take my hats off to you because the peer pressure and stuff out there is strong and it's in every community. But it's up to the individual to be able to fight through and push through those things without getting caught up. And
Right.
your grandmama, all I can say is she was awesome. Mama G was awesome. And while we're waiting, Kenny, did anybody put any questions out there in the
No
audience?
questions. No questions. Just complimenting the young gentleman.
Just lots of love
Lots of
about
love.
Caleb.
Well, we just got one. We just got one.
Okay.
They want to know where Caleb is from. Sounds like he has a southern upbringing here. I'll just post it out there so you guys can see it as well too.
Okay, Caleb. That's yours.
Well, I am from Baker County, Florida, um, and I live in the city of McClenny. It is very, very southern. I mean, you go out there and pick your own switch. That's how southern, you know. So you have where my grandmother was raised in Margaretta, and that's where my roots are from, you know. So that's that.
All right.
That is awesome. And I know we talked about Mama G, but we got Grandma Valerie too. Tell us a little bit about that.
uh, well, oh, TT, that's what we call her, TT. She
Kenny,
is
he sounds kind of
she's
low.
a
Can you
treat.
turn him up?
Well, TT, she's a treat. Um, I can say a lot about her. You know, she gave me the most whoopings. I can say that. She gave me the most. she gave she gave me the most whoopings, and she argued the most. But I love her to death. Even though she might not think it, but I love her to death. I might aggravate her a lot and mess with her and get on her nerves. And, we argue all the time, but I still love her. I tell her I want to say I'm trying still, so just wait on me.
I mean, it's just so amazing. I remember you. I'm finna tell on you now, Caleb. I can't remember Kenny. About how old was Caleb? Caleb had to have been about 5 or 6 at our brother's wedding, right?
I
How old
remember
was you
this.
when Wayne got married, Caleb?
I don't remember, but I remember the night. I remember that
Kenny,
night.
he was about 5 or 6. Help me out,
Caleb.
Bucky. How old was Caleb back then? But
I could
I'll
have been
never
about 5 or
forget.
6.
I forgot to tell y'all, Caleb is my cousin also, our cousin. But my brother Kenneth over here, I always thought he was Michael Jackson,
Mm.
and he could do a great Michael Jackson impersonator. But Caleb couldn't have been no more than 5 or 6 years old. That's where I'm gonna put you at, Caleb.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm looking at this little fella. He's challenging my grown brother who does the Michael Jackson impersonator. And this little 5, 6 year old comes down the Soul Train line doing the Michael Jackson. Caleb, you beat my brother that day. You are
Okay, that's
dancing,
all I
huh?
need. I remember that challenge. He challenged me. I remember. I remember it. I remember
Oh.
getting money that night too. Somebody put money in my pocket.
Wait a minute, Kenny, you sound so low. You said you made some money that night.
I did. Somebody put some dollars in my pocket.
I know you did because I threw some money out that night too because you beat Kenny.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but so do you still like to dance?
I dance a lot. And I sing a lot too. I might do more singing than dancing now, but when I'm in the mascot suit, I have to cut a rug, as Mama Gia say, or my grandpa, cut a rug.
All right. All right. Yeah, I've seen some of your videos that you posted on your page. And that was another reason I came after you to bring you on the show. Because, and I have to point this out, guys, Kaleb is a young man. And some of the stuff that I see, just even grown folks posting on social media, some of it is way out in left field. But when I went and looked at Caleb's page before I even said anything to his grandmother, Caleb's page is so clean. It is so respectful. Caleb, if you keep it like that and you start applying for jobs, you're not going to have any troubles
Oh, thank
because
God.
it's extremely clean and it's respectful. I'm proud of you. I'm just so happy of the young man that you have become. And since we got about 17 more minutes and no one has called in, I'm going to specifically ask you a question that's dealing with me right now because I want to know. You told me that you read my book, The Big Rig Kids Deal with Racism. Can you give me some insight on what you got from that book, or how did it make you feel, or what was your thoughts on it?
Well, it's been a minute, so I'm about to regain my memory here. So, what I got from that book, I tried to skim over it a little bit before I called y'all. So, I really, it really touched me, because it's a southern, Baker County is very southern, and we had, we have a lot of people around here that still want to be in the past, they're not, they don't want to move forward, and we deal with a lot of type of Confederate flags and different things in my school because those kids was raised up in it. So I have to really, I can touch base on it because I have gotten called out of my name, slurs, different type of things from just standing out in my front yard. Old men driving by just calling me out. One day, me and my brother was working, and some two guys looked. They looked as if they was drunk and just called me and my brother out of our names, and we were like, what do we do to him? We're just trying to dig a hole, put some posts
Hmm.
down. And the racism it's a real thing, and some people might not believe, but I seen it firsthand. You know, I seen it firsthand, and just in my front yard.
I get it.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand, and that was my reason for writing it. I mean, because it's a learned behavior. It is a learned behavior, and with you being the age that you are, not only that you're dealing with racism, but there is also another threat out there too. And that's where we talk about being, what's the word I want to use? Um, where you're being stereotyped because of you being a young black man, where you're being profiled because of you being a young black man. And when I sit and I listen to you when you talk about you and your prayers and how you pray for the school and how you pray for the students in the school. And in your sense, a lot of people who hear that conversation, they would say, well, oh, Kaleb is covered. You don't have to worry about this or don't have to worry about that. Even though your faith is strong, you believe in God, you know whose you are, but at the same time, I'm quite sure there have been times, like you're talking about in your front yard, where you've had to really deal with issues like that that had nothing to do with you other than being profiled.
Mhm.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Well, yes, ma'am. One day it's a small store, like it's just a small corner store down the road, and I was in it. I was just going in there, and it's only predominantly white people that goes in there, and just me being in that area, I was like, well, I might as well just go get me just some soda or something. And I'm in there, and the lady, she said, "How are you?" She spoke, but I went kind of in the back to see what they had, see if they had any chips or anything, and anything to drink. And I'm looking, and I see her like just like looking over, just watching me. I'm like, okay, I know where this is going, you know. So I tried to keep my hands out of my pocket, make sure she can see my hands are visible. I'm not taking nothing, and I just got what I needed and just left. I didn't. I If I was just left out, I kind of would have thought that she would have thought I was stealing something. So I bought something just to say I wasn't just coming in there just to come in there. So
Mm. Kenny,
Yes.
I'm gonna take my hand off of that one because that one just gave me all different kinds of feeling that a mother, and we say mothers, but mothers and fathers go through it. But the fear that that mom and that dad has every time, their sons leave home. So I want to bring you in on this one because you have sons. They're my nephews. And to hear what Kaleb just described, I want to bring you in with that conversation.
Hello, everybody. Let me preface this with thanking everybody for chiming in. Kaleb, you outdanced me, of course. Everyone knows. you know? And you grow more hair on your face than I ever could. So
Right.
you just beating me. You just beat me at everything. But what you just said was very, very. I mean, it's what we go through as black men, as black people, really, as black people in this society, and it was smart of you just to buy something so that you can just ward off any premonition or any thought that she may have had thinking because we get it a lot, and you being 16 and you already know what
Yes.
it's like. That's huge. A lot of us didn't really get it. Well, we seen things in school, but up north, it was a little more.
Undercover.
Yeah, it was undercover, is what it was, because in school, it appeared as everybody could get along, every nationality or whatnot. But we know better. But by the time you're 18 in the real world, working, well, 16, I must say 16 too, because that's when I first started working, and I saw what it was firsthand too, and I seen it earlier in life too, but never really thought much of it until later, until it started affecting me. And I do worry about the younger generation, my boys, and now that they have sons, it's like no girls allowed in this family, all boys. So yeah, they have boys now, and it's just like it's something that you're going to carry the rest of your life with you. So won't you tell me, what do you think is I know what you said earlier was the most positive thing we can do, but what do you think, in relying on God, as you mentioned so eloquently earlier in the conversations that we had. Um, would you say that that's what really got you over a lot of this stuff? Your belief in God and knowing that it's something better out there.
Yes, sir. I know God has been awesome. So he's kept my temper because I have a lot of temper. So I have to mind my tongue sometimes. The first thing I want to do is just bite at them, but I have to just hold back and just say, just breathe and ask God to just pray for them. That's all we can do is pray for them. We have some people in school that just want to just go ahead and fight at it, but you have to just pray for them. Just sit back and pray for them because you can't do nothing if they grew up with it all their life. That's all they know.
Yeah.
So that's all we can do is pray.
I know I had an instant as when I was younger. I guess they thought something different, right? They thought if you're a black kid, but then they come out trying to compliment you. I mean, it's like you weren't around with Rodney King when the riots in California. Anyway, when Rodney King got beat, it was a big story. The cops and he ended up winning a lawsuit and everything, but the cops were acquitted, of course. But people were so, oh, you're such a nice guy. They didn't say black guy, but your mom raised you so well. People were in this mode, like just, I'm not going to do nothing to you because of how y'all act. But seeing that and even the George Floyd thing, in that instance too, I could imagine what they were feeling too. And it's like being in Christ's blood, you don't want anybody to feel bad about anything. But people have to take accountability for some of the stuff they put out there because, like the Bible say, you're going to reap what you sow. you know?
That's right.
And with that said, Kaleb, is there any final words or any thoughts that you want to share to the people out there watching, giving us some nuggets of wisdom, some kernels of wisdom? What is it? Mr. 16-year-old full beard man. My stuff be like this.
They gotta comb it out.
Well, it looks good, man.
Uh,
It looks good.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank y'all for having me. It's such a blessing to be on here with family. It's just
Definitely.
so good to just be here with y'all, and I'm glad I had the privilege and honor to be up here with y'all.
Yeah.
And all I can say is just thank you. That's all I have.
Well, we are glad to have you. When Renee told me that you were going to be the special guest, I was like, "What?" And because I'm up here in Atlanta, and she was like, the little boy that was dancing with you, Michael Jackson at Wayne's Way. I was like, "That's him." Oh my god. It's like, man, this COVID has kept us from being and seeing each other. And the generations, y'all are the whole new generation, man. I'm just like, your dad, your mom, they were even under me in age. So it's kind of like that generation, it's like an awkward step. And so we definitely got to get together when we are able to travel. I enjoyed having you on the show. I enjoyed your insight. I enjoyed your wisdom for being such a young man and taking initiative and taking lead and setting precedents about doing things and constructing things around God. That's awesome. That is awesome, Kaleb.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Renee.
That is beyond awesome. And Kenny, what you just said, and I think we all have our own areas. But like you just said, when you was asking me who was Caleb,
Yeah.
Caleb, I normally find the people to bring on, and then I'll go to him and say, Kenny, this is who I have this week, this whatever. So when he was asking me about you, I was giving him information about you. And I guess that's just one of my things within my personality. Don't y'all cancel me and don't y'all take this personal. I like young people. And when I say that, I like to know the young people in my family. I like to get to know the young people in my community. Because when we set those precedents, I can learn from them and they can learn from me.
That's right.
It's just us having those conversations. Now tell me, watch some little babies and stuff like that. Y'all can take them. I don't do diapers and prepare bottles and all that stuff. But give me some kids, who are at that level where we can sit down and talk and maybe even play some games or whatever. But I think that's where we have fell apart a lot in our community. There is that gap there. The older and the younger don't come together anymore. The old people over here, the young people over there, and the ones in between over there. No, let's get together because one thing I have learned, when you associate with young people and you put yourself in their presence and you can build that kind of relationship with them where they can have these conversations with you, it puts you in a position where you know what this kid is thinking. They trust you enough to tell you what they're feeling or what they're going through. But with that gap in the middle, there is a separation. And I feel like that's the reason why so many of our children up in trouble because no one's standing in the gap. That's a part that's missing. And I'm gonna let you say whatever you're gonna say before I close out, Caleb, and then I'm gonna come and close this out. But I want to hear from you at least one more time.
Well, I can say that. Well, how about this? I'll just talk about what I'm gonna do at the high school. That's that. I say that. I want to go into some type of law, criminal justice wise, and I want to help out these young black men in our community, and just try to build that relationship and help them. Point them in the right direction. Be that. I want to be that gap. I want to be standing in the middle of that gap and just point them in the right way. Point them in the right way and just be there for them. Be if they didn't have a father, because statistics says that the black fathers can't stay. Well, I wanna be that father figure for them in that gap. I want to fill that gap in their life.
Awesome.
So
That is so positive. Caleb, you're a young man um, that has been blessed, and you're on a mission. And if you keep the mindset that you have, there's nothing that's going to be able to stand in your way. Once this is out, we should have told you before. I don't want you to leave yet, but I'm going to give my closing statement. I want to thank each and everyone out there in the audience for joining us this evening. And I have to give a special thanks, a special, special, special thanks to Caleb because, man, when I talked to you, I didn't know you was this deep. You are deep, and I appreciate that. I have to give a special thanks to my sponsors, KJ Multimedia Solutions of Marietta, TNT Realtors of Marietta, and once again, I can't express, guys. This is to my audience. This is to Caleb. Anybody who's listening, I can't express how important our village is. It's very important that we have that village, and this is what our young people need more of today. We need that vision. I mean, that village. And as you have heard here, whew, Caleb, Caleb is a product of having this village surrounding him. There's a song my husband like, and I like it too. I can't remember the young lady name, but she sang that song. I had a praying grandmother. Yes, I had one too. And I really do believe that I'm here today because we had those praying grandmas. They made a big difference in our life. And right now, I'm just saying, let's remember to encourage our youth. Let's stand up and be mentors to them. Let's stand in the gap. Let's put some closure on that gap. When I was just a couple of years ago, I was saying, where are all the old people in the community? Well, guess what? We are the older people. We're not teenagers anymore. So we have to stand in that gap. Caleb, keep up the good works. Remember, you have the abilities to be all that you could be. And as always, I'm excited, guys, to highlight our youth. We highlight them from age 8 to 21. We want to know what they're doing in their community because they're our leader. They're going to be our leaders. They're our future. And if you know of a youth who stands out and they set their own standards in his or her community, because Caleb, you did. You set the standards high in your community. We would love to talk to them. We would love for them to come and join us on Grandma Polly, Conversations with Grandma Polly. And it doesn't matter what race, creed, or color. We just want to talk to them because at the end of the day, we're all people and we're all hoping for the same thing, a better life. So with that being said, we look forward to seeing you all again next Thursday from 7 to 8. And once again, I thank you guys. Turn it back over to you.
Here come the big rig kids, roll with the big rig kids. Let's have fun here to try to view to such amazing places with the big rig kids. Those helpful big rig kids, see how they get and grow and get to know amazing things. We're with the big rig kids, and you see how it is to have adventure days and hang and play with all your friends. Because the big rig kids know what it is to live. The most exciting and inviting life is positive. Sapphire with the voice of wisdom keeps the story